This is JJ Barnes and this is Jonathan McKinney.
Hello and good day.
You are listening to the season finale podcast of the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and I'm going to call it that now.
Yes, we'll call it that now and we'll call it something else later.
Call it something else later. I know like you've seen it. If you're listening to the podcast about it, you've seen the episode. But, I know it's not spoilerific, but I think you do it in the order that it's done in the TV show. It is currently, at this point in our podcast, it is called The Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
So, right, we've just watched it.
Yes, we have. It's
Okay.
10:35 a.m.
We are podcasting at a different time. Yeah,
We are.
It's nice. We aren't drunk for one thing. Podlovians, you might
We are
find.
stone cold sober.
Yeah, morning podcasting doesn't include me and John getting sloshed.
No,
We've got coffee.
we're not on that level, no. We are drinking waters and coffees instead of
our weird creative
wine
writer temperament still hasn't got us quite to morning drunkenness. Give it a few months and we
Christmas
might be there.
Day, maybe.
Yeah, Christmas Day.
Maybe a birthday.
Maybe a Tuesday.
Maybe a Tuesday. Some days when the kids are being loud, which is most days. But they're not here, so we can be as loud as we like.
So, Podlovians, you
They're
might
at
know.
school, they're not wandering the streets so that we can podcast.
Apparently, us being drunk does not mean we're nonsensical. Sometimes that's just us.
That's always just
That's
us,
always
yeah.
us. So, the season finale of The Falcon and the Winter Soldier. If you are unfamiliar with our podcast and have joined us for the season finale for just an inexplicable reason, you're like, no, I only want the season finale podcast. We break our podcast into 4 sections. We have the plot of the episode, what we liked, what we didn't like, and then thoughts and theories. They all tend to blur into one another because we get overexcited. But we try to keep to that. We give a rundown of the episode top to bottom and then, talk about it. So,
Yes.
this episode.
Yes. Episode 6. 1 people, 1 world. 1 world, 1 people.
I was...
10 people in 7 worlds.
Shut up.
There's a number of people and a number of worlds.
Stop it.
Okay.
So how does it begin, Jonathan? Start us at the top.
Okay, so Carly Morgenthau has got her hood up and she's wandering about while flashing lights go everywhere. And her people, including one woman I don't recognise, and then, another one I don't recognise.
Yeah, they're talking. Shall I just move it along? They
Please,
are talking.
please do.
She is saying that they
It's
might
time
die.
They're gonna,
Yeah, they might die for their cause, but it's worth it. The guys who are with her, the 1 man, 2 women, are quite reluctant, I'd say. They're a little bit hesitant when she says, we can kill them all.
Yeah, we're not up to that point at the start. We're just sort of getting into it at the beginning. Because, at the end of last week, we get a cool shot of
New York
City.
Do you want to just do it from... You seem to be trying to just go from the actual thing that's playing.
No, we don't have to. I'm just sort of saying that last week... Right, so let's paint the picture properly, though. Last week, the flag smashers, flag wankers...
They made the room in the UN type place go red and all the screens go flashy.
The GRC Summit.
Yeah, GRC Summit. They made all the screens go flashy, the lights go red, and they'd obviously infiltrated it. They got the guy on the inside, the bodyguard bouncer man, with his mask, and they're all ready to sort of stop them having the vote to relocate the refugees of the blip.
To create refugees, because they're going to relocate the people who moved into homes during the blip.
And then put them somewhere else.
Well, it doesn't matter where they go. It's just get out.
Yeah.
This is our house.
You see, I'm really a bit wobblesome on my understanding. I'm still wobblesome on my understanding of all this, right? I'm not sure if they're relocating the people who came back after blippage.
Right.
Or are they relocating the people who've moved into the people who had the blippage's place?
Okay, so as is my understanding, Thanos did the blipping.
Yeah.
Right? The blippening, and all the countries that were like, oh no, we've only got half as many people, right? We need to rebuild our economy, etc. So all the people who are in more impoverished countries who wanted to go to more economically developed countries went to them because for the first time...
They were welcomed in because they had half the population.
We need the people. So it was like America when America was new.
Right, but then the blippened came back.
The blippinated came back, and then the governments were like, look, thank you for coming here when we needed you,
But
now we've got our old citizens back and they've got to go somewhere. We kind of have a duty of care to them. So you guys who just came, you can get lost.
So send them back to the country.
Sling your bloody hook.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't understand why Carly Morgenthau, an Englishwoman, was relocated by any of this.
Yeah, that was my confusion. Like,
she's a teenager, so she's probably a child when, like a small child when the blipinating happened, right?
Yeah.
So she might have been someone who went from a poorer country in Europe and now she just sounds English because she's been there for 5 years.
Yeah, maybe.
With Mama Donya.
Yeah, that was the problem. I couldn't quite get my head around why an English woman would have been made into a refugee, because if she was in England, she's obviously got a very English accent.
She does. Yeah.
So she wouldn't have been relocated to Madripoor or whatever.
She's not, for example, like Wanda Maximoff as a child.
Yeah, exactly.
Sounds very Eastern European.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
I was a bit confused by the whole.
Unless the United Kingdom after the blip was in such sort of economic ruin, because they were attempting a nonsensical separatist political movement at the time called Brexit, and thus the United Kingdom became a impoverished country where she escaped from, and now she's been booted back too. But then if that is the case, the United Kingdom would probably be a more sort of desirable place to go after the people came back. So yeah, it's not very well drawn.
That's my problem. I got it at first, but the more I watched it, I couldn't quite understand. But anyway, basically, these flag smashers want to stop the relocation of refugees because they don't like that as a system.
They're not refugees. They want to stop them from becoming refugees.
Right, sorry.
Really, they want to stop this vote because they're going to vote to be more aggressive. Like the GRC is going to vote to be more aggressive with the reassertion of boundaries, borders, and the resettlement of these people, which means the displacement of the people that are there now or in these different countries.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense. Okay, so she wants to stop it happening. So they have got it all. And all the flag smasher people are invading that place. They've got the police outside saying there's multiple threats coming in and stuff like that. And then we go. Am I allowed to jump? Am I jumping ahead? Because I'm getting really overexcited.
Go for it.
Right, we see a blue light in the sky. A blue light in the sky. And Sam comes whizzing along and he busts in and he's there and he's got his big blue and red wings and he's got his suit and they're like, and he's like, I'm Captain America, and I'm like, eee! And then someone says, it's like, I thought he was on the moon.
Yeah.
But it was like, eee! Honestly, I was so excited. I was like literally watching it like, oh my gosh, this is amazing, yay. His suit is like, it's weird, like half, like he's got his little bald head poking out the top of his like little, like half a balaclava.
He needs his goggles because he's flying around. So he doesn't want to get bugs in his eyes. And stuff. But
the half hat, half balaclava, ears and head and little beardy face poking out. But like that was confusing for me. But other than that, I mean, he looked cool. He looked great.
He looks
it's a good suit. He looks great. I love watching him whiz around with his wings again.
Yeah, no, it's there's stuff with before Captain America shows up. There's we have a bit with Sharon Carter who is got a Mission Impossible style mask on.
Oh yeah.
And she's out in the streets with Bucky. A lot of where people are at different times is a bit confusing in the first 15-20 minutes.
The big sort of opening fight sequence. I enjoyed it because it was really good. And there was some really cool stunts and jumping around and all of that sort of thing. I got a bit muddled with who people are.
Yeah.
When they were putting them all in the backs of the trucks, I was like, obviously something terrible is going to happen to them in the trucks. But at first I was like, I'm not sure who these people are, and I couldn't work out who they were all fighting and who was a flag smasher and who wasn't. But that said, I still really enjoyed it.
Yeah. So yeah, the first sort of fight that Sam takes part in, Captain America has, is he's up against the Batroc character.
Batroc, yeah.
And I thought there was a little bit of a lack of triumph to that fight. Right?
I did.
I wanted to see him kick ass more spectacularly than he did, and perhaps that's, you can't...
Is Batroc super serumed?
I honestly can't remember.
No, I'm not sure, because he really fights well.
He does. Like, he's definitely a strong strongman. Yeah, no doubt about it. And he went up against Captain America the First in Captain America the Winter Soldier. But one thing about the fight that's great is that every time, because if you watch it with the subtitles,
every time it's like Captain America grunts, Captain America,
and like if he says something but he's not on screen, it's got his Captain America going.
I love that. I was so excited when I spotted that they subtitle him as Captain America, which is just really fun. It's very exciting.
Yeah,
I love that. But yeah, I agree. The fight with Batroc was a little bit anticlimactic, but I mean, I wasn't really building to it as a climax in my brain, so I don't know if that's really right.
I think for me, because it's his first fight being Captain America, I wanted it to be really easy for him. Like, no problem at all. I just wipe the floor with Batroc.
Yeah, but the point is he's not super soldiered, so
No, but he's still, he's going to be up against all kinds of bad guys in the future.
Yeah.
So...
yeah, but I mean, I still I was just a bit excited.
Yeah, no, I mean, it was. I had a slight sort of, he keeps getting knocked over.
I enjoyed that when Bucky was... Who was Bucky fighting?
Well, first of all, Bucky walks about and he has a chat with...
Carly on the phone. Yeah.
And she tries to... What is she trying to do?
She's trying to stop him getting down to stop the people being put in the trucks.
Yeah.
She's like distracting him, basically.
Distracting him. But he basically sort of pleads with her not to
be that person.
And it's a bit like, so he doesn't, like, he's kind of coming at it from the point of view of like, look, I've been around the block. I've been a bad guy. Do you know what? Apologies for this, but there is a huge sort of Angel/Angelus faith vibe to Bucky and
Carly
Morgenthau.
There is, isn't there?
I think at one point she's saying, "Fight me."
Yeah,
it's Bucky. Sam. Sorry, it's Captain America.
But that's like Faith saying "kill me."
Yeah.
Which is like a really heartbreaking, painful scene.
Yeah.
Because you can see the anger and pain she has. Yeah, I agree.
I definitely think that there is some influence from the TV show Angel, like not even Buffy the Vampire Slayer, but the TV show Angel, because Bucky and Bucky Winter Soldier, Angel Angelus, they are the same.
Yeah.
He gives Carly the speech on the phone about how you don't want to go down this road. You kill and then you keep killing. It reminds me very much of how Angel tries to counsel Faith in the TV show Angel in the first season.
Yeah.
So if you're listening, Bloodlovians, and you haven't watched it, go and watch it, because if you like this, you'll probably like that.
Yeah, I agree. That's a really good point. It's interesting as well.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, then they've loaded all the politicians, one might also say, into the big armoured trucks and sent them off to be hostages.
So yeah, Flag Smashers are everywhere. They are very much in control at this point.
And yeah, when Bucky comes to the fight, and she's like, we've got to, to come and rescue the hostages. On his motorbike, he goes whizzing off, and it's great. It's like, zion, zion, zion. He catches up to them, and she's like, give him someone to save. I really liked that, because it's very smart use of hostages and recognition of what his nature is going to be.
Yeah, it's the hero's responsibility is always to save those in danger.
But then I love it when you hear Morgenthau.
Yeah, well, he says Morgenthau, doesn't he?
Does he?
He's American.
Oh.
And she calls herself Morgenthau.
Oh my god! And he comes. It's faked in America.
It's faked in America, but he's cool.
He's cool. You know what? I was watching it when he's like battering Flag Smashers and stuff and chasing Carly around. I was like, I'm rooting for faked in America. It's like when Bucky says the line, he's like Lincoln or whatever it is.
Oh, it's John Walker who says,
not from you.
Something about mercy being richer than something else. But yeah, he says like, what? It's great. It's Abe Lincoln. He's a great man. It's a great quote. He's like, not when you say it.
Yeah, but they've got like a real sort of camaraderie, like sort of jostling each other, not enemies.
Yeah, exactly. It's kind of like the way that Bucky was with Sam.
Yeah, exactly.
In the beginning.
Exactly. Just sort of taking the piss, but kind of good
breaking
natured.
Breaking each other's balls, if you like.
Yeah, breaking each other's balls.
Well,
but yeah,
Bucky's breaking John's balls, but yeah.
I really enjoyed it. I liked when he showed up. I was like, and when the truck is hanging off the edge.
We've skipped a few bits because there's a couple of things to talk about. I think before
I'm getting over it because I always do that.
That's all right. before that, I think you've got the bit where Sam rescues the people in the helicopter.
Oh, yeah.
He manages to take out the
pilot.
Flag Smasher pilot, and then as it's coming down on top of him, he makes himself like a
helicopter. Oh no, he makes himself into a hedgehog.
Yes, like a.
He goes into a ball, and with his wings around him.
His wings do the protective shield thing.
Yeah.
And the helicopter sort of crashes over him and bounces into the ocean, and then
all the crowd
are cheering him. Yeah,
I like it when he's like, "That's the Black Falcon."
Yeah, that's a little bit later as well, I think, isn't it? And he's like, "Nah, that's Captain America."
Yeah. I like that they hark back to those jokes. As they say, like that, I thought he was on the moon. Like harking back to old sort of jokes in the show is very clever and very funny. So am I allowed to talk about? So Bucky has like ripped the guys out, like he sort of used his big muscliness to open the truck.
Okay, yeah, that's before the. That's when Carly uses them as a diversion.
Yeah,
as a diversion. Thank you. Yes, as a diversion. You can't run from me. Oh, you can. You keep surprising me. So Bucky's all brave and like gets them all out. He needs something to hold on to with his human hand.
Yeah,
because he's yanking with his, and I'm like, there's no good way to get leverage. Like in that Captain America
when
film,
he holds the helicopter and the
building.
building.
He's got the helicopter and the building. He's got two things he can sort of hold together.
Yeah, he can pull one towards the other. Yeah. I agree. Bucky was sort of just.
He was looking for it. Like he was like, I've got nothing
to grab to help me. Yeah, I agree. But he saves them.
He does.
And Carly gets away in the other truck.
Carly gets away in the other truck, yes.
With the other hostages. And drives them to the top of that building, jumps out and sends the truck colliding towards the edge.
Yes.
And then you see Captain America come, like, Bucky's on the ground, like, holy shit, like, I don't think I've got enough strength in my one metal arm to catch that
even
truck.
If he did,
it would still kill him.
It would still kill him.
Like, the impact, exactly. Like Lois jumping off the building like, and being caught by Superman. Right. Like, she would be severed into 3 equal parts.
Superman caught a pizza. Oh, no. That wasn't a pizza.
Well, yeah, Captain America comes up behind it, and you can see the internal conflict, because he looks at Carly, and he looks at the truck, and your head is going, I was like, is he going to give in to his darker self, like what he wants, which is to go kill Carly? And it's, want versus need. What he wants to do is go and get Carly. What he needs to do is rescue the people in the truck. And it's really good because then his shield falls down and he's pulling the truck back and you're like, yay, Captain America! Never knew I'd root for that guy.
No.
But I did.
Totally did.
Yeah, 100%. Well excited.
He's had his sort of worst moment.
Of course.
Everything.
He has not been redeemed for that moment.
Well, I don't even just mean the choice that he made. I mean the things that happened. Like his best friend was killed. He then, lost control and did something terrible and unspeakable that he can't speak about. And hence it's unspeakable. And he was then stripped of his role as Captain America, which he considers to be the wrong thing.
Yeah.
And I like that he shows up in the costume.
I agree.
He's
with the shield.
With his own version of the shield. Yeah. It's a Tim Pot version, yeah.
Because he's like, no, I still want to be that man. Yeah, I agree. And obviously, like then the flag smashers get him and he's dragged away and like the truck starts going again. And then Captain America comes along and saves the day. But he's like, because he's not super soldiery, like it's hard for him. And he still does it, throws himself under that truck and is using all his jets and his, sort of actual human muscles. And I'm sorry, I'm being loud, aren't I?
It's all right.
I know, I'm making the spikies come up. But he uses all his jets and his muscles and he's got everything he got. And he pushes that truck up and you're like, yeah.
So I didn't want to skip over John Walker trying to hold the bus up because that was very heroic.
It was so heroic.
And you could see the sort of the good intentions that he's always had.
Yeah.
Before they were corrupted by all the power and the prestige that he's had.
Exactly.
And he's just trying his best.
Yeah.
God bless him.
Yeah,
You know?
he really has. Like, he did it for the right reasons. Like, he let go of what he actually had showed up to do. He showed up to stop Carly.
Yeah.
And, you know, he put his own desires, his own goals aside for a greater good, which is very heroic. You know what I mean? To let go of something you want for something that matters more, even though you want what you want so desperately.
Well, you know, it's like Carly, like with Bucky, she's like, we need to create a diversion by putting people in danger, because she knows that Bucky's vulnerability is that he's going to save the people.
And again, what Bucky wants is to stop Carly.
Yes.
But he does the greater good as well. He focuses on the...
Yeah. It's good that, John Walker is shown to, like, he's not put under pressure on purpose by Carly in the same way that Bucky was. But by the TV show, he's put under pressure in that way.
Yeah, and it means that he gets to show there's still a good core to the man. It's not like he's just bad through and through. He has got good in him.
Obviously, he ends up working for Madame Hydra, and he's pleased as punch in his black suit.
Yeah.
But, you know, we don't know that she's Madame Hydra. She could be anybody. We just know that's one of her comic book aliases.
Yeah.
And also other things. So yeah, what else happens in the first part of the fight? Because there's loads of stuff.
There's so much. It got
Bucky
a bit
has
muddled
a fight with
in my...
Carly. That comes right before we've talked about that. When he does his superhero landing.
Yeah.
That before the truck saving.
There was a lot of action in this whole thing.
Yeah.
It's hard to keep up in my brain because the whole episode until the very end is like action.
Yeah. Like I'd say probably the first half, maybe 60% of it is action.
Yeah.
But I wanted to mention that I liked when he uses Red Wing to find out if anybody on the helicopter has flight
and then he's like,
experience.
put your earbuds in. Yeah, I like that.
And specifically because once he successfully...
Our dog's dreaming.
Once Sam has successfully saved the people in the helicopter, and I think he's on the ground, he says to her something along the lines of, "Congratulations, good work."
Yeah.
He says thanks. He uses a name and says good work.
Isla,
something like
that. Isla,
I don't know.
I think it's Isla.
But it's like the captain's responsibility is to sort of keep the morale of the squad
up.
and
he takes
that. He coaches her through what she needs to do. He recognises the effort afterwards, uses a name to make her feel seen and valued, like he's being Captain America.
Yeah, I agree. He's being a leader.
Yeah.
Like, but he always was so perfect for that sort of role. Like, it's brilliant. It's ever so good.
Yeah.
So...
Oh, also one more thing is when he goes in the water and then he comes flying. You see the blue light in the water. He's flying out.
So exciting.
And he comes flying out and he says like, "Oh, you're going to get an ass whooping for that." Or something. He sounded like Will Smith in Independence Day.
He did, didn't he? Yeah, when he talks about the aliens.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. It's so good, but it is so much action. It's really hard to kind of keep track in my mind of all of it.
Of the logical steps.
Yeah, because there is so much. There is so much really good, strong fighting sequences that are really entertaining.
Yeah.
So we end up with them down in the basement. Where
is everybody at that point? Because like on the Podlevians on the screen, what we've got John Walker fighting Carly in like scaffolding.
Yeah.
I don't remember how this ends. I think Carly wins. Well, she just walloped him in the face.
It's when she goes and she gets back in the truck.
Right. So yeah, she did a little flying kick. She booted him in the face, and now she's running off with her mask on
to drive them up to the top of the building.
So the bit with the of course where we are, Podlevians, on the episode is we haven't even got to the bit where she's
after the truck. They say they've gone underground. So they go down looking for Carly and all the flag smashers. You get Sharon reveals herself to be the power broker, or reveals herself to the audience because Carly already knows.
Plus, I think it was almost like it was all but said throughout the series, wasn't it? It wasn't a surprise.
No, I mean maybe to some people, but we sort of talked about it in earlier.
Yeah, I'm sure anybody who was asking the question, "Who is the power broker?" was like, "Oh, it must be her."
Yeah,
she's always up to something.
And so Bartok comes along and...
Bartok.
Is it not Bartok?
Batroc.
Ugh.
But he's got a different name in this, like George or something.
Yeah.
He
speaks French a lot.
He does. Then who shoots Batroc?
Sharon shoots Batroc. Carly shoots Sharon.
And that's when Sam
shows up. And he says he's not going to fight Carly.
Yep, and we get the whole, like, fight back.
Yeah, and so they're having their big, to-do, rolling around the place. And he does great work with those wings,
He does.
Like, they come out when he's sort of leaping through the air, spinning just to give him extra movement, and they jump back in again. And when he gets thrown backwards, like, they stick backwards into the ground.
Yes, that's brilliant.
Like, I loved that.
When he uses, because he's using the shield to protect.
Blocker.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and like you said.
Yeah, they're sort of sticking into ground to give him leverage so he can press backwards and push off. Like, the wings, like, whatever, like...
I'd love to know how he controls them.
I know, because, like, when he sort of leaps in the air and they shoot out, I'm like, oh, he must have a little button, right? But it was too quick, like, he couldn't just have a button to make them pop out, because they had to, and they change, like, the angle, right, to go backwards into the ground. They couldn't shoot out sideways, because then they wouldn't go backwards.
Yeah, because, like, Iron Man's been doing this for a long time. Like, in the first Iron Man, I feel like it's all fairly straightforward. He has control of the suit. And also he talks to Jarvis all the time, and like, he's got a lot of AI working for him. But Sam doesn't seem to have any AI. You know what I mean? In the suit, apart from maybe the Red Wing.
Red Wing, yeah, but he's definitely got. I mean, the Wakandans gave him this suit, didn't they?
Yeah.
And the Wakandans have got, like, insane technology.
Yeah. Well, yeah, they do.
Then who trained him to? I mean.
These are interesting questions.
These are interesting, but it's noticeable that the wings don't just go out and in. They change angle and stuff, right? So I'm curious.
Well, I mean, even if they went out and in, he'd still need to, like, somehow control them, because he doesn't flap his arms. He's not like
but as I say, I imagined
at
first it was just like a little button and it popped, but it couldn't be. It couldn't be a button.
So it's either that he's got some sort of
psychic link.
Some kind of psychic link, like in the Matrix, where he's got a little plug sticking into him somehow. Or he has AI that reads his mind and knows what he wants to do. Like, it doesn't make sense, actually. So I'm not going to think about it too much.
It's curious. It is curious.
It is curious.
But yeah, they go and they're all running around in the basement and fighting.
Yeah, it looks like they've reused some of the sets from Madripoor and just put a load of, like, sellotape,
like a load of stuff and some
like packing paper over the bits, like stuff. But
then it ends with Carly holding a gun to Sam. She's whether she's going to shoot him isn't clear because she doesn't shoot him.
Yeah,
but Sharon shoots her.
Yes,
and she has her very sad, tragic death in his arms.
Yeah, she's like, I'm sorry,
and she cries, and he holds her.
So before that, there's the bit that I want to talk about when the power broker revelation happens. So they point the guns at each other. This is before Batroc shows up. When you get the exposition, it's not good, right?
I want you to come back and work for me.
Yeah, they point their guns at each other, and then when they both put their guns down, they go into let's fill the audience in on what they don't know, but we know, and it's the same. Like, we've complained about it before. She says, like, when you came to Madripoor, I
took you in. I gave you an opportunity.
Yeah, it's like, I know that.
I was there.
It
was me. I'm the you you're talking about.
This audience wasn't. So carry on.
I agree, but I mean, they only had so much time.
Like, I know. It's just that any time this happens, it's like nails down a chalkboard.
I know, but it's kind of like ripping off a plaster. You just got to do it quickly. Like, say what you need to say, and then you can move on with the story. Otherwise, you've got to try and find a way.
Well, I would sit up late at night trying to find a way.
I know.
But there's one other thing that Carly says in this scene, which is that she's not interested in, like, empire and power. She just wanted to make the world better. I don't believe her.
No, because she does have, like, she wants the people, the empire of flag smashers.
Well, I think she's just a budding conqueror so she's got her narrative, right? Her story that she tells herself to justify all of these terrible things she does, because she does do terrible things. She's willing to kill people all the time. Yeah.
She sets a blowing truck full of locked-in people on fire.
Exactly. She's not a good person. She's a terrible person. And the whole mission that she's on is like, it's like alcohol to her. It's like a drug, because it makes her feel good about the horrible things that she feels she wants to do, because she's got the natural ability to conquer. She's got a good mind for stirring people, right?
Yeah.
She's a rabble rouser. naturally.
Yeah.
But what she needs is a message that people will believe in, and so she uses it. I'm not saying that she's aware of this.
No, but she has got that instinctively in her.
Yeah, I think so. I think she's full of shit. Like, and I've thought that since the beginning. I've never. Sam is very optimistic about her, and he gives her a very heroic end.
Yeah.
And then he defends her after she's dead.
Yeah.
I'd love to have been there and be like, I'm with you to a point, Captain America. And I certainly don't necessarily agree with these sort of politicians who, yeah, you're right about what you say about them. But
Carly hasn't necessarily earned the respect given to her.
No, she hasn't. And like I say, I think eventually as time went on, she'd be... Basically what I'm saying is I agree with Zemo. I think that Zemo had her nailed. That she was destined to get worse and worse and worse. Because he saw that, yeah, she's got her cause, but she's also needs a cause, and she doesn't care what it is. Okay, so for example, Captain America is described as a man who needs a fight, right? But in Infinity War, when Vision offers to sacrifice himself, he says, we don't trade lives. Yeah. Right? And maybe they should, but he's like, we don't, right? Yeah. Meaning that's not a choice he's willing to make. Like, without even... Like, she don't even give people a chance to sacrifice themselves. She's like, I'm sacrificing you.
Like, when she tells the people, like, who are with her, like, we might all die, she doesn't say to them, if you're not comfortable with this, go. If you are willing to risk your life, stay. She's just like, no, that's the situation. And she's like, she makes them say, like, the one world, one people thing. And they hesitate. I never like a mantra. Yeah. I get really uncomfortable when it's like, this is a thing we have to say, and if you don't, you're evil and terrible and awful. I'm like, I don't like when you have to do a certain thing that people are all doing.
It's because you are not politically tribal.
Yeah, I'm like, I might agree with what you're saying,
but tomorrow I might not.
And also, like, I don't want to just be railroaded into having to repeat whatever it is, politically, unpolitically, whatever the belief is, whether it's, oh, this celebrity is good or bad, or a political statement, I'm like, I don't want to be told that if I don't repeat this thing, that I'm terrible.
It's literally compelled speech.
Exactly, and I'm watching her, and they don't want to say it. Yeah. And it's like, it doesn't mean they've stopped believing in the cause. They obviously believe in it. They've gone that far with it. They believe in the importance of what they're doing, but they're not comfortable at that point. And
it's because she says we'd kill the hostages.
Yeah, exactly. Right. And it's like...
They're all like... We kind of bought in, and this is what I'm saying about her, right? Yeah. They're like, we bought into this because of you. You're a good rebel rouser. You go on and on and on about this cause. That
like, they still think one world, one people. They
believe that the people that she's talking about killing are in the world and are in the people.
Exactly. But if they don't repeat it, like, it's compelled speech, and it makes me really... That puts me off her more than a lot of it, even more than the killing and stuff, which is really wrong about my brain. But I'm like, I take people like killing in TV shows.
Community, when she's like, I will accept racism, but I will not accept animal cruelty. And then she's like, you'll accept racism.
Because I'm like, in a TV show, people kill each other. Like, I'm like, that doesn't jar me. Because it doesn't. Like, you used to that. In TV shows, people kill each other. That happens, and it doesn't feel real. But when it's compelled speech, I'm like, oh no, this is starting to get into my world now. This is actual reality where this is a thing. Yeah. Whereas we don't have actual reality of people all around us like jumping out of buildings and shooting each other. That's in America.
But in America there is, the idea of a person with a cause using innocence as sacrificial pawns, right, in their political agenda. America has been, like, obviously since 9/11 has been, and specifically New York, where they are at this moment in time, has been dealing with the fallout of that on such a massive scale. Now, there has been incidents in the UK, but not as grand in scale. Yeah. That isn't to diminish.
No, but it's sort of smaller.
Literally, the numbers are fewer.
Yeah, exactly.
But also our lives personally have never been touched by that specific type of tragedy. Yeah. But if they had been by someone who, if we'd lost someone who was literally just in the wrong place at the wrong time, and someone with a political agenda used those, like, our beloved people as sacrificial pawns, we would be much more disturbed by Carly Morgenthau's.
I agree.
her methods. Than we are just watching it as a sort of action show.
Yeah,
if you know what I mean.
I agree. But yeah, he carries her, he picks her limp body, bless him. He's ever such a good man.
Mm-hmm.
And he flies down with her, looking all heroic and strong, and he places her very tenderly on the gurney thing to go into the ambulance. And then, he talks to the politicians, and he's brilliant, and all the cameras are on him. And he tells them, what she's doing is wrong, but why do you think she did it? Why do you think all these people care about it? What? And they're saying, oh, you don't understand, it's complicated. He's like, yes, it's complicated, but it still has to be dealt with. You sort of think more, do better, do more.
Some of the points he makes are that whilst they're in rooms making decisions, they don't have anyone from the affected groups in the room to speak for themselves, and so they are forgotten. And the fact that those people are going to be forgotten means that you're going to end up with more people like Carly.
Yeah.
He's like, you don't want 2.0. The whole bit where he was talking to the politicians and people are filming him and stuff. I felt like, and this isn't a criticism, but I would have had an entire episode of that conversation explored more curiously than it was given. It was very much like an episode of The West Wing crammed into 3 minutes.
It was, but for a show like this, you can't do a West Wing episode.
That's why I say it's not a criticism. You can't. I'm not criticising this show for having the moment. I'm saying that I would have liked to have thought about it for longer.
Yeah.
And what it felt like to me was in Love Actually.
Yeah.
When the Prime Minister is in official meetings and stuff, that also felt like The West Wing crammed into 30 seconds, and it loses some of the sophistication, and it doesn't feel as
powerful.
Not necessarily powerful, but as authentic.
Yeah.
As it feels in The West Wing, and everybody's running around scurrying about, having multiple conversations at once, and all of that. But
I did like it, and I like when he talks about how even now there are people who, the fact he's black and he's wearing that and holding that, and you cut to Isaiah, and he's looking all sort of proud, and it was very moving. But my favourite bit of the whole speech, my favourite bit of this whole section is when he goes and joins Bucky, and he's like, I was texting, I heard something about a black guy in Stars and Stripes, and it just slides straight back into their sort of teasing patter. It's just really funny.
Yeah, that was brilliant.
Really, really funny. And then Sharon's been shot, and she's like, oh, I won't go to hospital because, blah, blah, blah. So Bucky takes her, and he goes off to fight the last smag flasher. The last smag
Stop
flasher.
flashing your smag at me.
But it's very, very good. I really enjoyed his sort of proper Captain America, sort of imparting wisdom and nobility and moral and this very good call. You see his sister watching. It's lovely. It's very moving. It's very strong. I think he's wonderful. Yeah. I don't like his stupid half head thing. Right? I get that he has to have the goggles. The goggles look cool. When he wore the Falcon, the Black Falcon, I love that stuff. It's it's the Black Falcon. No, it's Captain America. But just because it harks back to when he was called the Black Falcon. It's no, I'm just the Falcon. It's really good. But I don't like his half hat thing.
That's fair enough. I'm not sure I like it either, but I think we'll get used to it. I think also I had some sort of first day nerves on his behalf.
Yeah.
Because when Carly's like, you of all people bought into this bullshit.
Yeah.
And I was like, because he does kind of look daft in a real world context. Do you know what I mean?
He does.
And so I didn't want him to feel undermined on his first day.
Is that stupid half head thing with his little ears poking out, right? If he lost the stupid half head thing and just had the goggles, what is the half head thing doing? Is it accomplishing anything? Or is that the mind reading thing?
Maybe.
Oh, maybe that's the mind reading bit, because otherwise it's stupid.
I love it though. You're right. He's pointing at him going, you've got to do better, Senator.
Yeah, exactly. He's really...
Yeah, he's compelling. If you're in America, you're watching this on the news, rather than us watching it on TV, you'd be like, oh, wow.
Yeah.
Look at him go.
Yeah, I agree. And it's lovely. It's really good because he's already a better Captain America than fake Captain America.
Oh, yeah, without question. And there's a shot of, while he's having his little speech and conversation, there's a few shots of John Walker and you can see that he knows.
He knows, yeah. Because Sam isn't super soldier serum, and he hasn't got the glory thing. Like, even at the very beginning, like, John Walker's in the middle of the football stadium, sort of basking in all the cheers and waving, and Sam doesn't have any of that. I mean, at the end, obviously, he goes back to his sisters, and he's having photos and hugs with people, but it feels more sort of, for them, like, oh, they are really excited to see me, so of course I will be there for them. And but then he goes and he just is with Bucky. It's a lot quieter, whereas I feel with John Walker from the very beginning, it was very sort of, oh, yes, me,
I agree.
Behold me. Whereas for Sam, it's like, oh, you want this. I'm happy. I will do it for you. Absolutely. I'm more than willing to sort of be there for you and do this stuff that makes you happy and excited. But he hasn't got the same basking in glory, which is a really good quality. But yeah, I really enjoy his and Bucky's relationship.
Yeah, like he says, nice job, Cap.
Yeah, I
good work, Cap.
know. It's lovely. It's
and
really
he just says
good.
thanks. It's nice. Yeah,
it's dead nice. I love their character arcs towards each other.
Yeah.
Like, it's a really lovely little bromance, I think the technical term is in Storyland.
Yes, and in non-Storyland. But what I want from their relationship from now on, and I say what I want like I'm fucking, you know what I mean, Podlovians. What I would
He's
love
demanding and commanding of the Marvel
I've got a hashtag
Empire.
ready. No, what I'd love to see is the continuation of this friendship, so that in 10 years of Marvel movies and TV shows,
agree.
they've got this like
history.
Friendships in movies and TV shows, or in TV shows especially, because you don't get a lot of time in movies for long friendships. But one of my favourites is the friendship between Bill Adama and Saul Tigh in Battlestar Galactica.
Yes.
Like, they have got so many moments. Like, they've got moments where they get drunk together, where they laugh at things,
and they've got so much shared history that they're always aware of. It's never forgotten. It's never missed.
Yeah.
When they're together,
So,
all that shared history comes with them.
Yeah, there's a scene in an episode where, and I won't cut this, there's a scene in an episode where Saul Tigh, because he's a drunk, is on, like, he's in a, like, there's a trial going on and he's a witness. But because part of his testimony relates to the death of his wife, he gets drunk before he goes on the stand. And he starts sort of ranting and rambling, and everybody knows him as sort of Bill's second in command, and afterwards he's like, I'm sorry I embarrassed you, Bill. And then Adama says, you could never embarrass me, you know, like it's I like stuff like that, where you see these, and that what we've got in this show is the possibility that begins here.
Yeah, exactly. It wasn't there before. They actively disliked each other in the first episode. They were combatant with each other, combative with each other. Yeah, antagonistic. Yeah, but they've obviously, like, and then you go back to Sam's sister, and he, like, Bucky's got the kids swinging off his arm, like he's just part of the family. He's got all the people around him. They are welcoming.
Have we missed anything to go straight to that point, or are we?
Have we done Bucky going and talking to Mr.
Oh, that's right.
That's very at the end. I think after this it goes to that. Yeah, and you go to Zumo hearing the news in prison.
Zemo,
Zemo, Zumi,
well,
Zumu, Numo.
Before that, the reason we see Zemo is because the Zemo's Alfred.
Yeah.
And we both looked at each other when we watched it, but we didn't say anything. Were you going, who is that?
Yeah, I was. I 100% was like, who's this old guy? He's just blown up those flag smashers.
Yeah. It's quite cool because it quickly sort of sets up what looks like future stories with the flag smashers.
Yeah, because the poliman's like, one people, one world.
One world, one people, one world, whatever. And then
after
immediately,
I at first I was like, who's this old guy? And I was like, oh, it's the guy from the plane.
Yeah. So all of Carly's sort of second in commands, there's the guy we've seen a lot with the long hair, and there's the two women who are new. They're getting loaded in. The policeman, says the slogan. And you go, oh, maybe there's going to be more with these dickheads.
Yeah, but no, they eradicate them.
They are blown up.
Yeah. Zumo's Alfred was like, no, get rid of all the super soldiers. Boom, bam.
So it's great because it's Zemo's character in a nutshell. Bang, like boom goes the truck.
And then you go to
Alfred sitting in the car. I know he's not called Alfred, but for all intents and purposes. And then, Zemo sitting in the prison hearing the news in the raft.
Yeah, which is where Captain America was.
Yeah, in Civil War,
Yeah. You got Zemo sitting there just like with his book, like, haha.
Yeah, He's like, done. From prison. No super soldier serum.
Boom. Boom, nailed it.
Yeah, he's like, you can have 4 super soldiers. I have 1 Alfred. I'm going to have a nice lie down and pat myself on the back.
Yeah.
So then you've got Val, the woman who we're not allowed to call her Val, but she's called Val, but we just have it in our heads.
Possibly Madam Hydra. Yeah. And she's funny. She's like, I did that. Did I? Maybe I didn't.
Yeah.
Maybe I did.
Yeah.
I enjoyed that energy she has.
Right, that joke needed either 1 fewer or 1 more. Because if it was 1 fewer, I'd have been happy with that. That's like, that's intriguing. When it went to the stage it went to, I was like, okay, you've got to do 1 more so it becomes absurd.
Yeah, I agree.
My sense of humor.
I would have enjoyed. I would have been happy for it to go even a couple more because it really
like
tickled
to the point
me.
where John Walker's wife starts rolling her eyes and goes,
oh my god, yeah, I agree. And then they're like, what's he doing? She's like, oh, it's the helmet, which is funny.
He had a weird sort of he's having a wank vibe.
Oh god, no.
Like what's he doing in there?
I didn't know, but now I do.
He really likes his new suit.
It made me cry with laughter. No, I didn't get wank vibe, but now I do. But yeah, he comes out and he's like, it's just the same but black.
Yeah, but he's thrilled though. He's happy as Larry.
Yeah, he's well chuffed, and he's like, I'm back, I'm back, I'm back, I'm back, I'm back.
It's kind of delightful to see his exuberant enthusiasm. Yeah,
because I don't think he thinks of himself as being a baddie. Because she says
he doesn't.
Like, we need a US agent, not Captain. He's like,
big smile on his face.
Yeah, like he's really chuffed, and his wife's dead proud of him and happy. Like, I don't think he thinks he's being a baddie. Like, he's still got his funny little ears, and he has his little weird head twitch.
He has his little twitch, yeah. That
reminds me of your acting in Hollowhead.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I gave my character a little twitch.
Yeah, a little madman twitch.
He's been in this weird town for 5 years.
Yeah, he's gone a bit loopy, so he's got a twitch. I like it. And it's really good because you made that choice before this guy made that choice.
I sure did.
So, there you go. I'm comparing you to this brilliant actor. You should be chuffed. You should be
Son of Kurt Russell.
Oh, and then we go to...
Yes.
Sam has to... my gosh. No, Bucky.
Oh, sorry. Bucky has to...
apologise to Mr. Yuri.
The sins of Angelus.
Yeah, to Mr. Yuri. And he looks so... He's like, but why?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that poor man. Like, honestly, and poor Bucky. Like, you really feel his pain. Like, he's devastated to be confessing this. He's devastated that he does it. He's devastated he's got to tell him. But he owes him the truth because the man doesn't know what happened.
Well, also, he clearly, like, the man, he's not Mr. Yuri, he's Yuri something.
Oh, is he? I thought he was Mr. Yuri.
No. He has already kind of communicated in the first episode that he has this restless spirit because he doesn't know what happened.
He doesn't know what happened.
So it's not even like he's apologising so that he can feel better.
No, it's because he needs to know what happened to him.
That he's giving Yuri what he needs. Yeah.
Yeah. It's really sad, and he's such a good actor. Well, both of them are actually. Like, they both do really good face acting in this scene. Like, there's so much pain and loss in both of them.
And there's the way that it's shot, and like, there's a lot of sort of tragedy just in the picture of the sun.
Yeah, the smiling
see a couple
picture.
Of times.
Oh, I agree.
He looks vulnerable.
He does. He looks small and happy and kind of geeky and sweet. Like, he doesn't look like someone who's
not
a strapping fighter man. Yeah.
Not that it would have been better if he was like Lamar, but
no, of course not. But he looks vulnerable.
Yeah.
Then you have the therapist lady. I want to say like your Sopranos therapist,
Dr. Melfi over here.
The Dr. Melfi of this show. She gets the book from Bucky with all the names crossed off.
Yep.
Thanks for your help, Doc.
He's taking his steps, and we see that shot of the trees on the wall that we saw him in front of in the first episode.
Yeah, with the weird angles.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then he goes and he looks in on like the waitress lady that he
and she sees
fancied. Yeah.
And she sees him and she gives him a little smile, but not
not a come in smile.
Yeah.
Just a sort of, hi, I see you.
Yeah.
I'm not mad.
Yeah.
And it's very sweet. And poor Bucky, he has to, off he goes alone. Bye. Aww.
Bye.
Aww.
See you, Chief.
Then he goes to see Isaiah.
So this is my favourite part of this, I think.
It's very good.
Apart from the appearance of Captain America.
Yeah, but when he takes him, oh my god, I cried.
Yeah, I wasn't far off myself.
Because Yeah, he goes around, he talks to Isaiah, and he's sort of like, I want you to come and see something, and, you know.
So yeah, first of all, we have to go through the conversation they have in Isaiah's garden, where, because this kind of conversation, this conversation sort of has to take place because Sam left Isaiah with, you know, he hadn't taken ownership of the decision he was going to make.
Yeah.
Or defended it.
Yeah, exactly. And Isaiah had sort of left him with his thoughts that no
self-respecting black
man
could
ever do it. Yeah.
Would be Captain America.
He talks to him, and Isaiah's great.
Yes.
He's so good. Like, really good actor. We've said that so many times, but they talk about the choices, and, you know, he says, "Oh, you almost got me with that because of how passionate." Yes. He carries the massive tree. And the huge,
I love that.
Just the casualness of just
little demonstrations of
it's super strength. Yeah, I love it. And then he says, like, "I want to show you something," and the kid comes out and he's like, "Where are we going?" Like, he's all excited, and they take him off to the Captain America exhibit.
Yeah.
And lead him through to the whole section, all about him. With the big statue of him and all the information about how he was the first super soldier and
how he saved the people. I assume is all in that.
Yeah, like they had all the photos of him in his army days, like all big and blown up with the big light screens, and he cries and he hugs him
and he holds is that his son or his grandson? Or?
I think, I'm not sure, to be honest, because I don't think because his wife was killed. Like,
yeah, I mean, she may have been pregnant when he was.
Yeah.
Or it might be like his brother's daughter had a son. And,
but some, like, obviously a kid who, like, loves him to pieces and who he takes care of, and, like, but it's really, really moving. It's really powerful.
Oh, God, yeah. Like, because what's really good about this series is that you kind of knew that the moment with Yuri was coming.
Yeah.
You couldn't not go back to that.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, yeah, I was waiting for that. But I didn't see this coming, even though it does set it all up.
It all sets it up, absolutely, because they go to the Captain America exhibit at the very beginning.
In the first episode, same
thing. Same thing. All the stuff that they are going to fold in later.
Yeah, but as soon as it showed them there.
Yeah, you're like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
And it was so, honestly, I was crying. It's so beautiful. Like, it pays him so much respect. And he says, like, no one's ever going to forget what you did for your country.
Yeah, and Carl Lumley playing Isaiah, he holds his relative, like his son, grandson or whatever, holds his hand up.
Yeah.
Like, just because he's overwhelmed with the emotion of seeing it.
He's looking at all the photos and everything, and it's all him and his life and what he did, and the statue, and that list of information about him, like... It's really beautiful. It's really, really... And oh my God, his eyes. I love the face acting.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they've got some really, really incredible, emotive faces in this show. And, he's absolutely wonderful. It's really lovely. It's a really respectful end for that arc, I think.
I agree.
I really liked it.
Oh, yeah, it's the perfect end for the arc.
It's perfect. I agree. And you've got the soldier face. It's lovely.
It's Dixon.
It is Dixon. And then it goes. But then we go to the post-credit scene.
No.
Now it's the party where
you've got Captain America taking pictures with... Well, I say Captain America. He's Sam now because he's not in his costume.
Yeah.
He's taking pictures. The nephews are play fighting with
Bucky, and everyone's sort of around the place, and
they're all sort of thanking him, I assume, and also he's thanking them because they've all helped.
And I love Bucky hanging with the kids hanging off his arm and shit. It's so fun.
While he flirts with Sam's sister, which he said he wasn't going to do.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. Bucky's like, I love him so much.
Yeah.
It's a lovely, just sort of like nice party little sequence. Where do we go after this?
Well, there's a big shot of the ocean and Sam's looking out on it. And Bucky joins him.
And then they smile at each other and walk away and have that sort of his arm round him, bromance style.
They bromance, do they?
Yeah, he walks away, he puts his arm around him, look.
Well, he puts... Yeah, you're right. Yeah, arm around the shoulder, yeah.
See? I notice these things.
Captain America and the Winter Soldier.
Captain America and the Winter Soldier. I love that. I love that as what they did at the end there. That is just so good. It's so cool. I love that they called it that at the end. Captain America and the Winter Soldier. Bloody love it. Then we go to the post-credit scene and Sharon is being pardoned and welcomed back into the agency.
I'll tell you what, right? when this scene was going on, it was so overwhelmingly forgiving of Sharon Carter that I thought it was a dream.
Yeah.
Like, I was waiting for her to wake up.
Yeah.
And for them to be doing something interesting with her where that's actually what she wants. And that all of her power broker stuff is like a performance because she's got nothing else to rely on. She's just kind of amoral.
And she's like, I'm going to have secrets and weapons.
Yeah.
And all she's planning to do is betray the government, and she's going to be a villain. She's going to be a baddie. She's not sort of stealing a moment where she can to try and have a life. She's literally a baddie.
She just likes to be a baddie.
Yeah, it's like, okay, fair enough. That's who you are now then. So, that's the whole episode. Yes. Season finale.
And the whole series.
Yeah. So, now we'll do what we liked. What did you like?
Okay. Favourite thing was Isaiah being taken to the...
museum of...
The museum. The commemorative zone.
Yeah, the commemorative zone.
The CZ. The CZ. Yeah, that's my favourite thing. So I kind of slightly criticised the bit where Sam's sort of delivering truth to the politicians. Only because, like I say, I want a whole episode. Honestly, as much as I enjoy the shooting, like the fighting and the stuff, like...
That's the stuff you're really interested in. Yeah, I'm the same.
I could take half the fighting...
And more of the philosophizing.
More talking, yeah. And more counterpoints as well, because he gets to sort of own the room, even though it's not a room.
No, but the politician man, like the senator guys are like, it's complicated, like... he does sort of rebuff him a little bit, but I agree. I would want more of that moral philosophizing, the sort of the truths, the hard truths, as well as the...
and also, like, what some of the concerns of the politicians are, because they're not going to be just irrelevant.
No, exactly.
And we don't get much of that. But, I mean, I know we're in what we did like. But what I do like is Marvel Comics are full of stuff like that. That was like... I mean, people talk about... They use the phrase, it was like a comic book come to life all the time.
Right, yeah.
But they're usually talking about action scenes.
Yeah.
That was very much like a comic comes to life. Because characters do give these sort of wisdom... Like these wise speeches in their costumes. So that little kids can feel like they can have their... moral compasses sharpened, they can have their minds sort of enlightened by their heroes in the costumes. Like, that's very Marvel Comics to me.
Yeah, I agree. I really liked that. As I said to you, I really enjoyed it. I loved Bucky's response to it. I love John Walker watching it. Like, I love that they called him Cap afterwards.
Yeah.
I loved it. I really enjoyed it. I really loved when you first see the blue light going through the sky. And like,
yeah, because we don't see him put the suit on.
Yeah, like I didn't even know it had wings. Like we assumed last week that it would be a Captain America suit, but we didn't know it would have the Falcon wings. And it should do because he's trained with them. He's brilliant with the wings. Like that's his whole thing. Like he was a really good flyer. So. Yeah,
totally. You don't throw that skill in the bin.
I just loved it. I loved it. I didn't like his weird half head.
No, but we've established that.
I know, but I'm just re-establishing it to make a point.
I love John Walker in this episode.
I did.
Like, I don't mean like, I forgive him.
No, but I love the characterization of him. I love the performance of him. Everything about that character is fascinating and brilliant.
The moment where he does the quote and Bucky gives him he breaks his balls over it.
Yeah, but it's very funny because he pats him on the back. It's very... And we've been through shit together.
Yeah, he said at the beginning, that he wanted them to be a team. He said in last week's episode, we could have been a team.
Yeah, and they
in a way they are a team, and like everybody's sort of accepted each other.
Yeah,
like not like
not like we're all good mates. We work together now. Just sort of, all right, you've shown up. We're not going to reject you. Yeah, like you've shown up and you're part of it.
You're on the team because you've got the right goal. Like you stop your fight that you're personally invested in to save the people who need saving. You're on the team, and and the whole point, and I was thinking about this with this episode because. And I mentioned it when we were talking through the episode, but also I want to say it again because we're in what I liked. The way that Sam, Captain America, thanks the woman. Yeah. I know I mentioned it, but just to reiterate.
Agree. It's a real good show of character.
You don't have a captain if you don't have a team.
Yeah.
Right? And the captain's job is to lead the team. So the...
Team America, one might say.
Fuck yeah. Ooh. We should do a podcast on Team America World Police while we're waiting for Loki. Can we do it?
Yeah.
Probably. Yeah.
I'll do that.
All right, Podlovians, you have your homework. Um,
It'll be of me going, I don't like that, it's gross. And like all the time, you'll be like, it's so funny this. I'll be like, I don't like it, it's gross.
I'm not going to talk about Team America.
I can see the urge in your guts right now.
Yeah. That's what I liked. I liked Sam being a leader, Captain America being a captain, John Walker saving people.
I love the relationship between Sam and Bucky.
Yeah.
What didn't you like?
What didn't I like? I thought that there was the fight with Batroc at the very beginning was lacking triumph for me.
I can see that.
Signified or symbolised, if by nothing else, than by the moment where he throws the shield and Batroc kicks his chair at it,
and just bounces.
And they just collide in the air and land on the floor. I'm like, what the fuck was that chair made out of?
Yeah, I know.
I wanted to see the shield like cut the chair in half and then smash Batroc in the face. It was like, oh.
Oh, I know. I was the same. I was like, oh, right, okay. I guess that's like a super...
Like a really, really impressive chair that Batroc kicks around. Yeah, that was... I don't even know why that chair kicking thing made it into this.
I agree. It was strange.
Because it made the shield look...
weak.
Shit.
Yeah, I agree.
I didn't like that. I didn't really like anything of that fight with Batroc at the start, except that he was newly in the suit.
Yeah.
And so I was still enjoying watching.
I was very excited by the suit. So, yeah, I agree.
I just didn't want to see him get knocked down straight away.
Yeah.
Like, there's going to be times like that, but I wanted him first time to be...
badass.
Yeah, just like, take care of the problem.
Yeah.
Take this, Batroc.
And you didn't like the expo with Sharon and Carly?
No, there's nothing to like.
Yeah, it's just fine. It just did what it needed to do to me. But other than that,
yeah.
Brilliant.
I still think, looking at the series as a whole, the Flag Smashers were crap.
I agree. I was, to be honest, when Alfred, Zumo's Alfred, blew them up.
For that.
I was like, oh, good, okay, because I was like, oh no, they're going to try and grow this enemy into more, and it's like, oh no, thank you, Zemo.
Thanks, Zemo.
Taking care of that.
Thanks a lot, Chief.
So thoughts and theories of what's to come. More Zemo.
What's to come? I mean, next I think is Loki, right?
Yeah,
that'll be a massive divergence from this show. So what's to come from these characters?
Yeah, what's to come from these characters?
I have no idea at all.
I agree. I think that Bucky and Sam are going to have an ongoing partnership,
right?
Sort of with Bucky as the wingman, right? Instead of the black guy as the wingman, the white guy will be the wingman, and it'll be nice to sort of see that because they complained about the fact that.
Well, yeah, it was literally it was the moment when he was like, it'd be good if I could have Captain America's wingman by my side.
Yeah,
but that's when he was like, all right, stop the car.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm getting now.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't know in what. Like, so other podcasters have theorized that there is something called the Thunderbolts, right? I don't really know anything about the Thunderbolts, right? This is based on the character, Liv Tyler's father, Ross, from the Hulk movie, who is in also Civil War. He brings the Sokovia Accords to...
I thought you meant Liv Tyler's actual father. I was like, Aerosmith are going to be in this? What? Steve Tyler is going to just rock up on screen with all his hair?
No, her character's father in The Incredible Hulk.
Caught up.
Thunderbolt Ross, right? So he has a team, they're like the Avengers, and so it might be John Walker, it might be Baron Zemo. But I don't know. I haven't got any kind of... Sort
of like the Suicide Squad, like the anti-heroes.
Yeah. But I'd say that the way that this ends, the US agent... Well, because the US agent is with Madam Hydra / Val. Valdem Hydra. Huh? Does this guy know how to party or what? Because he's with her, that probably precludes him from being in a team with Sam and Bucky.
Yeah.
Which is fair enough. But yeah, he'll be back.
Sharon will be back, because Sharon's
clearly going to be back.
Yeah. I want more Zemo.
More Zemo, please.
Yeah,
yes.
I absolutely love him. I want more Zemo and his Alfred.
Yes. Honestly. Like, sort of hyper-utilitarian, slightly evil Batman. Yes. Yes, please.
Exactly.
Give me... that.
And the thing is, I think because Zemo...
Again, please, I'm not demanding things, I'm not a...
He is, he's being a tyrant. Zemo's a dead popular character from this. Like, there's loads of chat about Zemo on the Twitters. Yeah. So I feel like they'd be really foolish not to give you more of that character, because everyone loves him. So, yeah, that's what I think will happen too. So we have completed
our mission.
Our Falcon and now Captain America and Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
Podcast.
We haven't gone on for quite as long as we did last week, but I think that's because it was so much action. There wasn't a lot of...
Yeah, you can't really talk about the action other than they beat each other up and
it
was
looked great.
It looked great. It was very
like this. I
dramatic,
like that.
but we can't sort of list everywhere they ran.
No. Yeah, ultimately, another triumph, I would say.
Another triumph, I agree. I was talking with someone on the Twitters because he said, like, it's not as good as WandaVision, like, it just doesn't live up to it.
It's completely different
And, well,
thing,
what
isn't
my
it?
point was, I agree that, in a way, I liked WandaVision more. But I think because WandaVision was unexpected, this was like a 6-hour-long Marvel movie.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
you go into a Marvel movie, you expect to see a few
Yeah,
jokes, some
yeah, yeah,
action, some politicky type stuff,
Yeah.
like people zooming around the place. Like, that's what you expect, and this is what that show delivered. So I think if this had come first, it wouldn't have felt disappointing because you go into a Marvel movie expecting what this show does. I think WandaVision stood out as striking because it was unexpected and you didn't know what was going to happen.
Yeah.
It wasn't like a 6-hour-long Marvel movie, even though the last couple of episodes much more were.
Yeah.
I mean, the last one
Yeah.
particularly.
Yeah, the last one
But,
especially. Okay, so I have a game that we can play.
Okay.
Right, going forward.
Do I have to
okay?
drink shots? Because I'll go loopy.
No, you don't. In fact, please don't. We don't have any, so I don't know what you're going to be doing. Right, so these Disney Plus Marvel Cinematic Universe TV shows, right?
Yes.
We've reviewed in the entirety the first two, and we're going to keep going, right? So we got Loki coming up. So my thing is that we should come up with a top 3 moments from each series, which we can later rank against each other. So I'm asking you, what off the top of your head, to come up with your favourite 3 moments from WandaVision and then from Falcon Winter Soldier.
Right now?
Yeah.
Favourite 3 moments from WandaVision. Number 1 is Agatha all along.
Of course, yeah.
Number 2 is when they're saying goodbye to the boys and the red wall is coming towards, like
Good.
the hex wall is coming towards, and like that
Yeah.
absolute devastation.
Yeah.
And number 3 is when the hex expands, because it was so exciting.
Yes.
And I was like, oh my god!
Yes.
Yes, those are my 3.
So Agatha all along, 100%. Hex expansion, yes. And I'm going to say Monica Rambeau going through for the 3rd time.
Oh, when her eyes flash and you
When
see... you see all the sort of, like, the superhero-y...
Yeah.
Yes, brilliant, excellent choice.
But you're right, that the farewells, especially with the children tucking them in, was brutally painful.
That is absolutely my second favourite moment because of how much it broke me.
Excellent.
And I was just sobbing, like ugly crying. Like, honestly, I cannot emphasise how much that affected me.
Good. Right, so Falcon Winter Soldier. This one's going to be a bit trickier,
This
I
is
think.
tricky. Favourite moments. I feel like Zemo should have a favourite moment.
Mhm.
I enjoyed him dancing in the club. That was funny.
Okay.
I enjoyed that. It was
Yeah.
funny. I enjoyed him on the plane with his Alfred.
Yeah.
I just enjoyed him in, like, let me think. Let me put some serious thought into this, because I feel like there's less standout specific moments. I probably would say favourite moments. Oh, Lord.
Shall I go?
You go, because I'm trying to think.
Okay, so I haven't got a more, like, I might change the order, but the first one that comes to mind is the fight at the beginning of episode 5 when Bucky and Sam get the shield from Faked in America.
From Faked in America, yeah.
That whole fight was brilliant, I thought. I'm also going to have the murder of Nico because of how dramatic it was.
Yeah, I agree. I think that should be in.
Just, what a statement it is to have
a really
Captain
strong
America standing there with the shield
covered in blood. Yeah.
And then, even though I kind of semi-criticised it, I'm going to say
the end of this.
Where Sam is
speeching
because of how Marvel Comics it felt.
Yeah.
And like that excludes Isaiah Bradley, that moment at the end of that.
You know what? I think a favourite moment for me is when him and Sam were in therapy.
Oh wow!
And they had their
their
knees to balls moment, and then like Bucky breaks down and like is talking about like
maybe he was wrong about you. If he was wrong about you, maybe he was wrong about me.
Yeah, exactly. I felt that was a turning point in their relationship.
Yeah,
because they understood each other
Well, I think Sam understood Bucky.
Yeah. And it connected them. And from that moment on, they were more of a team. Like, they stopped sort of being antagonistic towards each other and were more friendly, jostling, rather than actually... So that would be... I loved that. I thought that was a really, really strong moment. I really like... Let me see, I'm trying to think of a... Because I loved Zemo all the way through.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to think of a moment that
Oh,
was...
okay. All right. I'm going to replace the fight at the beginning of episode 5 with Nemo smashing the vials.
Yeah, that was a really good bit. Really strong.
Yeah.
Because, yeah, it showed you his character. It showed you the truth of who he was. I really like the Wakandans attacking, like, when they came in with the spears. And, I loved that.
Yeah.
That was really good. I was very excited in that moment.
Bucky, the scene with Bucky in Wakanda was incredible.
Yeah. Oh, my gosh, yeah, that's a real standout moment. Around the fire when she's breaking his, like, coding. Yeah, that was really, really good. Oh, it's hard, isn't it? I don't know. It's very difficult.
I'm going to go the Marvel Comics moment of Sam speeching.
Yeah.
The blood on the shield.
Yeah.
And smashed vials.
I'm going to go in therapy, knees to balls.
Mm-hmm. Knees to balls.
Knees to balls. I'm going to go... yeah, Sam doing his speech. And Bucky in Wakanda.
Nice.
Yeah, those are real. There's loads that I really enjoyed. I love the snake gut because we had such a funny conversation about the snake in the bar. Like when he has to pretend. Like it's so funny. Like it's a genius scene that when they're in the bar and he's dressed like a pimp and I really, really enjoyed that. It was so funny, but I think the other two scenes are just a bit more powerful. Mm-hmm. But it doesn't mean that is not like a real... So yeah, that would be my choices.
Awesome. Good. We're done.
Amazing work. So thank you very much for listening, Podlovians. We've had a great time. We are going to do some film review pods until Loki.
Yeah. And
then we'll run through Loki in the same way as this. We are actually going to have more podcasts coming out, aren't we? Because you and Luke are going to...
Yes.
Do film reviews on this feed.
Yes.
And pretty soon there's going to be the Beatlestar Galactica pod with you and Stopcat and Johnson.
The Sausage Boys.
Yeah. So you'll have to look out for that as well. I'll be promoting that on all the social medias and it'll go out on the Siren Stories feed, etc. So just look out for that. It won't be on this channel though.
No, on this. If you're subscribed to this podcast on your... Apple Podcasts.
It will be on a different feed, but I'll make sure that it's all, if you follow Siren Stories, to do that, if you go to sirenstories.co.uk, over there you'll find links to podcasts, you'll find everything. There's the YouTube and the books and the films and the TVs and all the people who are working over in Siren Stories.
Please buy some of our books. We write good books.
We do write good books. We're very talented. And you'll also find all our social medias. You can come chat to us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all of those things. We love to talk Marvel. We love to talk film, TV, all the stuff. So, yeah, come find us, say hi, tell us what you think. And we shall be back again soon. So thank you very much and bye.
Goodbye.